Ahead on KREM 2 News at noon, a protest that turned chaotic last June. It is still making headlines as 3 people now face federal charges.
And we've got a wet and breezy Wednesday here across the inland northwest. Coming up in the full forecast, we'll let you know when we can see some sunshine once again.
I didn't know that the police don't call you, they don't ask for cash.
Today, it is tax day, and that means scammers are out in full force. Be on the alert. We'll give you some tips. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. Right now, 3 people are facing charges from the protest outside of Spokane's ICE facility back in June. They are trying to get those cases dismissed. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy was in the courtroom and is explaining the judge's decision.
A chaotic night with inert smoke and pepper balls used by police, more than 30 arrests made, and the mayor declaring a state of emergency and a curfew. The protest outside the Spokane ICE facility on June 11, 2025 happened in response to the detainment of 2 Venezuelan men. 3 people are still facing federal charges from that day, though they tried to have them dropped Tuesday in federal court.
We believe in showing up for each other and that we will always show up for each other.
Liz Moore with the Peace and Justice Action League of Spokane spoke out after sitting in on that hearing. Jack Archer, one of the 3 people still facing charges, filed a petition to dismiss the case on the grounds that it violates the First Amendment. It was signed by the other 2 people facing charges, Justice for All and Bajan Mavawala. A judge denied that, as well as denied a motion to dismiss regarding the lack of a lawfully appointed United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Washington, and denied a motion to dismiss or strike one of the defendants' alleged conspiracies.
The idea that that was a conspiracy when it was the most spontaneous protest Spokane has ever seen.
Moore and several other community members gathered outside the Waters Meat Foundation across the street from the courthouse to voice their opposition to the judge's decisions and to show support for the 3 as they prepare for trial. She urges other people in Spokane to show support and not let the federal charges take attention away from what protesters were standing against.
To make sure that immigrant neighbors and loved ones in our community are not isolated and targeted, and that they experience support, just like we want Jack, Justice, and Bajan to experience support.
The trial is set to start on May 18th. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
And this is coming in all new this hour. We have some security footage. This is from an Oklahoma high school. It's showing a principal tackling a shooter. Again, take a look at this from an Oklahoma high school. As you can see, a gunman opened fire in the lobby area. This was at a school last week. Seconds later, the principal, Kirk Moore, raced into the hallway, pushes the gunman into a bench and holds him down before another staffer jumps in to kick the weapon away. Moore was shot in the leg and is now recovering in the hospital. Police say his courage and quick thinking definitely saved lives. All right. Oklahoma, now here locally, you may have seen a lot of police near Franklin Park on Monday night, and that's because a teen reportedly pulled a gun on a Taco Bell employee. Police pulled the teens over and arrested the one who had the gun. He's been booked on a second-degree assault charge. Now, police initially did detain the other teens in the car, but they have since been released. Police say the dispute all began when the Taco Bell manager removed the teen from the restaurant. Investigators are still trying to figure out some of the details and working on that case. In the meantime, it is just a few minutes past noon right now. We're going to head outside and check in with Brandon T. Jones. Brandon, it was a wet, soggy morning. So I guess what everyone wants to know as we head into the afternoon, what to expect.
Yeah, hey there, Laura. Well, I think it is still going to have a little bit of wet conditions here throughout the rest of the day, but finally that rain has stopped. Still nonetheless pretty damp out here, and it's breezy as well. So we've got mild temperatures, but those breezy conditions making it a little bit cooler than what the actual temperature on the thermometer is saying. So a wet and breezy Wednesday. Again, scattered showers still possible throughout the rest of the afternoon hours, but a bulk of that system we saw has already dumped the rain that we'll mostly see throughout the day. Also a chance of thunderstorms as well. That's in place from the National Weather Service from 1 to 8 p.m. We're thinking more so towards North Idaho up into the Panhandle areas, and then also the North Cascades down here, lower levels. Shouldn't have a problem with thunder or lightning, but if you do hear a rumble, that's exactly what that is. And then cold temperatures are on the way as well. Tonight into the early morning hours, we're dipping back into freezing temperatures, so make sure you're covering up those plants or bringing them inside. We've got more details, though, coming up in your full forecast.
All right, well, today it is tax day, so of course, make sure to file federal income taxes if you haven't already. And if you need more time, you certainly can request an extension from the IRS and get until mid-October. Either way, do be mindful of potential tax scams that are out there. Scammers tend to impersonate IRS agents, demanding payment over the phone, via text, or even on email. Scammers are getting smarter, and they're really hard to pinpoint. And some are using AI-generated voices that sound very convincing when they make a call.
People on the other end, the victims start to get, nervous and they start to stutter and it can read that kind of tone. It'll turn up the heat more to use words like arrest warrant and really, it really is forcing these people to make irrational decisions.
It can be really startling and unsettling. Scammers aren't just targeting the elderly, they're targeting whoever they think is the easiest for them. The IRS says they'll reach out to people by mail first. Just remember, if someone is demanding money through things like Bitcoin, PayPal, or gift cards, it is most likely a scam. Back in 2025, the Spokane City Council voted to prohibit a virtual currency kiosks, because they were being used in more and more scams. Spokane became the first city in Washington to do that. Now, advocates in other parts of the state are pushing for more regulations when it comes to those crypto kiosks. AARP wants Washington's governor and Attorney General to put limits on those machines. Just this year, legislators did not pass a bill that would have put a $2,000 cap on cash deposits. An Olympia area woman says she was swindled out of more than $15,000 at one of the kiosks. She says a phone scammer convinced her to deposit that cash into one of them.
I was told that the local authorities would arrest me because there was a warrant for my arrest. I know nothing about this world. I didn't know that the police don't call you, they don't ask for cash. This was a whole different world for me.
Spokane Valley also recently passed an ordinance to ban the kiosks out in Idaho. Governor Brad Little just vetoed a bill that would have put restrictions on the kiosks. As always, be careful of suspicious calls or texts that say that you owe them money in the form of cryptocurrency. All right. Brandon is joining us now, and it is a tough day, a tough world in a lot of ways. It is tax time. Yeah. We're talking about all the scams that can be so frustrating.
Oh, big time. And, a way to kind of get rid of some of that stress, there's also some tax day freebies, though, right?
I do like freebies.
Yeah, I love things that are free personally.
Brandon and I do enjoy freebies. That is a fact. All right, so let's talk about that. Not all bad. As he said, restaurants and other chains across the country are offering tax day discounts and giveaways to give your wallet and maybe your mind a little bit of a break.
Two things, absolutely. I'm always trying to give a break for myself. If I can save some money on anything, I'm going to be doing it.
So let's talk about it. We're talking Subway, Krispy Kreme, Olive Garden, 7-Eleven, Wendy's, Round Table Pizza. They're all jumping in with limited time offers. Krispy Kreme, for example, is offering guests a buy one, get one free deal today. So even if that buy one is a whole dozen, then you get a whole dozen, and you don't even have to share them.
See, we should have known that before we came into the newsroom this morning. That way we would have been able to have some hot donuts.
All right, so check it out, KREM.com. Lots more to talk about. Coming up, tails are wagging today as Spokane County Commissioners vote to keep the area's largest dog park open. The story behind that decision, more to come.